This is body cam footage
Okay, so you know the drill. You know how it goes.
August 16th, 2022.
You guys live
And
here.
this
You're
is
responsible for the
taken
music.
at 11:27
So we have to come back out. What's the
King Road.
noise complaint ticket up to these days?
And I was just curious.
Sure.
But just keep walking. So the officers,
And
if you hear
that's
them,
the
they're
bottom
saying
road
that
house
they're
there?
making their way to the next house to do the noise complaint, which happens to be 1122. And as you can see, that house to the left, that apartment to the left,
Well, I saw that big tall
has been
JBL on
seen in
the back patio there, so I'll just
the
go chat with them.
surveillance release just recently. So
Yeah, we'll
keep
walk.
that in mind.
We'll start
So you
things
see
off on good
everything
foot.
close by, walking distance.
It would be fair.
They're going to go ahead and make a right, and
Yeah,
you
that's a
can
good
hear
point.
the officer to the left calling and just report that he's making his way to 1122 now for the noise complaint.
Monster 111. We're clear of 1127 King Road. We're going to be out at 1122 King Road.
How's it going, guys?
So I screenshotted this view here because you can see how close the cars are there that are parked. And I'm not sure if those are stairs, but you can easily come down from that street to their backyard. So I just wanted to see how close 1127 was to them. And then looking at the pictures, through this window, you can see directly into their kitchen and Kaylee's room. Department report, and this was by Officer Aaron Morris on 1114. I'll post it for you to read as well. I'm at the bottom. It states, I returned to the north side of the residence for the remainder of the night. Once ISP and investigators made their final walkthrough, the residence was secured at 23:44 hours. That's 11:44 p.m. at night. Officer Rosendahl relieved me and I cleared. Officer Rosendahl, if you don't know, is the same officer who appeared for the noise complaint when Kaylee and Hunter were in the back and Kaylee's wearing her brown dress. And his partner mentioned a comment about, there's no stairs to the back deck. Interesting, something of that sort. Rosendahl. Then Officer Rosendahl is also the one who was patrolling that night, the King and Queen Road neighborhoods, the night of the unalivings. He is also the officer we see in body cam footage where they stop the frat boys. So if you want to do your research on that, please feel free to do so. So some of this kind of makes sense to you. So not only was Officer Rosendahl patrolling that night, he was also the officer who returned Murphy back to Jack D. If you recall, the Animal Humane Society made that phone call and was like, to MPD, they were like, someone took the dog and we don't know where this dog went. Rosendahl, where they stated MPD, they have keys to, I guess, businesses in town. So I'm assuming he had a key to the Animal Humane Society and he was able to get Murphy out and give him back to Jack D. So my question is, was Officer Rosendahl the only officer there that night to watch guard the 1122 King Road residence? It would be the night of 1113 to 1114. So was he the only officer that night doing watch guard? And I mean, is it a coincidence that out of all the officers, it would be him to do watch guard that night? Let me know your thoughts on this. I forgot to mention, in Gunderson's body cam footage, when he's making a few phone calls to different officers, I'm assuming, to get some help on scene, well, he called Rosendahl at some point and he did not answer. And then he called Casey and then the wife or someone answered, and Rosendahl, who did not answer, he might have called him back a little bit later. So was Rosendahl at the scene a couple hours later, or was he just not at the scene up until 11:44 p.m. that night when he was doing watch guard? Please correct me if I am wrong in any of this, but also this is my opinions and speculation. Let's get back into this IDAHO 4 discussion. If there is someone that I've been very curious about and suspicious about, it is Officer Nate Rosendahl. We don't know much about him. We don't have a report from him, but we do have a report from his partner, Jacob Tesdahl, the night of the unalivings where they were undercover. And we know that Officer Nate Rosendahl, per reports, we know that he was the officer who was watch guard that night, 11/13/2022, overnight shift at 1122 King Road. There's no report on that. And he was also, just happens to be, the officer who gave Murphy back to Jack D. There is a report on that. No, but he was not wearing a body-worn camera. And remember, the Humane Society had no idea someone went in there and grabbed Murphy. So if there's someone that I'm really like about, it's him. I want to know more. With that being said, I came across a creator's post where she was doing a little bit of talking about Nate Rosendahl, and it definitely goes deep. And I will include her post here. So if you want to go down that rabbit hole, that's where you can find it. Let me know your thoughts.